I don't even know why it came up on my news feed because I'll be reading a lot of I'll read your articles. I'll read Athletic, and I was on Hoops Hype, and I haven't been on there in a long time, and I saw them quote one of the Los Angeles Lakers beat reporters, Johan Buha,
Hmm.
which that's just like a cool name. I would love saying that. But he actually was talking about Jalen Duren. And I talked with Sean about this when it first came out, and it was kind of cryptic from him. He said, Lakers tried to trade for Duren. We'll see what happens this summer. Here's the thing, man. After watching him probably the past month, I don't think there's any way, shape, or form the Pistons would even consider trading with the Lakers because they don't have any assets that they probably want, maybe outside of Austin Reeves.
Hmm.
But what's kind of like your takeaway with one, the Lakers trying to get Jalen Duren at this deadline, and two, like I don't really think that the Pistons are really entertaining any type of deals for him unless like it just blows them away.
Yeah, that Mark Williams fall through plan, like that really bit them in the behind right now. So, and looking at how great Jalen Duren has been, I don't see any chance of it happening at this point. And I saw that clip too. I didn't really like his response. You have to have more than you never know. Like I just thought that was kind of lazy, honestly. So no, looking at the landscape of the league, looking at the landscape of this team, Trajan Layton talking about after the trade deadline, saying openly, we wanted to make changes. We wanted to improve the roster, but we didn't want to do it at the expense of breaking up this young core. We saw, how their chemistry is on the floor. He says he loved what they see with them in the locker room. He said they have one of the strongest locker rooms in the NBA. And every time we talk to the players, they always mention that too. Like Duren just said it after the beatdown against the Spurs, where he believes that their off-court chemistry of hanging out, spending time with one another, like he has a good relationship with Cade before he even came here. Like that kind of stuff plays a huge factor when you get onto the floor as well. So looking at how well he's been playing, the leap that he's been making over the past month and some change, defensively and offensively, finally finding a rhythm without playing, without fouling. He stayed out of foul trouble. He's being really aggressive offensively. It's not just being a lob threat. If you see him get the ball now, he's putting his shoulder down and he's looking like if I got a foot in the paint, I'm going through my defender and I'm getting a shot up. So he's been playing very inspired basketball, especially with Jaden Ivey on the sideline right now. He was one of those X Factor guys that needed to step up. And I don't see any reason why Trajan Langdon would even entertain the possibility of trading him right now. I think he's playing way too important minutes right now. I think that front court just relies on him way too much. I don't see it happening in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I was watching his podcast. He was doing like a Q&A with some fans. Obviously, Lakers are very frustrated with not, with addressing a center. Obviously, they
Right.
have Jackson Hayes. They signed Alex Len, but Alex Len's days are behind him. I mean, he's been in the league for quite some time. He was a really good backup maybe 5, 6 years ago, but he
Mm-hmm.
struggled a lot. I can understand from a Laker standpoint why you would look at a young Jalen Duren who's 21 years old, hasn't even really scratched the surface yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there's any trade that the Lakers could come up with where it makes sense for them to feel like they came out as winners. Because I think what Rob Pelinka does, he does it every year, is he calls teams around the NBA, tries to dangle a draft pick that's 5, 6 years out.
Mm-hmm.
He might get a trade. They might get some pieces, and they feel like they come out the winners. And I feel like every trade they have, it's so lopsided that it favors them. Like the Dorian Finney-Smith trade, I was like, for
Yeah.
Brooklyn, I was like, man, like that's a steal for the Lakers. Like they just got a really good perimeter defender that, mind you, he's barely even starting, which I don't understand. It's like, what are we doing? But
Right.
like, I, I would not deal with the Lakers if I'm the Pistons. Like Rob Pelinka knows what he's doing. He's trying to take advantage of other teams, and I think Trajan is way too smart of an executive to even have conversations about trading. Arguably, what the third best player on this roster right now, the way he's playing, like especially in the fourth quarter, man. Those lobs, good Lord. Especially the second one, man. He just cranked that bitch. I was like, holy shit.
That was Dwight Howard-esque right there. His ability to reach back. And Cade said it too. Like, I just was able to throw it up, and he went up and just put it out and got it. He's got great hands. You know, they obviously have that great chemistry. They work on it on the floor during the game. They work on it before the games as well. You know, I get to watch them. Like, they literally work on their lobs and their chemistry, like, even before, like, the game starts. So, again, I don't think the Pistons want to mess that up in any way, shape, or form. And knowing the Lakers anyway, not even just the Lakers, LeBron James teams where they're able or willing to blow up any pieces to make LeBron's window a satisfied one at that time. So the Pistons are not on that kind of timeline. We just talked about it before we came on here. The Pistons are not in a position where they need to really worry about future assets or picks right now. They're trying to figure out how to win and where they can go with the core that they have at this point. And consider that, again, not even just Duren. If you look at how well Duren is playing, how great Asar has been playing, Tobias Harris is playing his best basketball of the season, and I think some of the best basketball of his career, especially defensively. Like, you just don't mess with that right now. Malik Beasley has just been lights out in an unbelievable frame. And obviously we talk about Cade enough. We know what he's been doing. So yeah, you don't mess with that right now. Like, you keep the core with what they have, and you kind of just rock out and see where things go. Like, that's why just a Dennis Schroeder makes sense for, you know, bringing in as your backup point guard. This isn't a time to shake up everything right now. They're in a great rhythm, and Duren is a huge reason behind that. I love the way his growth and development has been shining lately.